What the hell? Give it a few seconds. Give it a few seconds before people start popping in. Wow. Make sure this thing is live. Wow. Yeah, the playback, man, it's not showing you on the playback. I'm looking at the playback. Say something real quick. See if it'll pop up. All right, y'all. Sorry again for the technical difficulties. People gonna be, coming back in, but again, thank y'all for rocking with us. The technical difficulties on YouTube has been crazy for like the last few episodes. We apologize. That's not the quality of standard that we have on this podcast, and we take pride in that. So again, we want to thank y'all for continue to rocking with us, and you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get through this. We still got a fire show for you, but again, thank you for continue to rock with us even with the technical difficulties. Let's see what we was at. Let's see what we was at. We was talking about Derek Carr. So we was talking about Derek Carr, the New Orleans quarterback, retiring due to his injury. Don't want to do 6 months of rehab, so he's going to leave $30 million on the table. To that, you say is what?
When you just know it's time to retire, it's just time to retire. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of money though, 30 mil. You know what I'm saying? Basic. They asking you to chill. You know what I'm saying? But we learned, and next day, yeah, chill don't pay the bills, but it's paying the bills for Derek Carr if you just chill for 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Or rehab for 6 months. 30 mil.
Body and your life on the line and health. So $30 million is really not that important when your health and life is on the line.
I like that. I like that. I think he knew. I think as an athlete, you know when it's time to walk away physically. You just know it. It's like, yo, mentally, you're fighting it. You know what I'm saying? So being the fact that he walked away now, he probably knew about this for the last couple of years. And was just, that mental thing when you're fighting as an athlete. So I think he just it came all ahead like, yo, that money ain't gonna be no good to me anyway if mentally I'm just not there. Like even in the rehab, I'm not gonna be there to rehab. He's still gonna have to do uh the surgery anyway, and he's still gonna have to do rehabbing on his own. My thought process is why not get the best doctors, get the best rehabbing, and get paid while doing it. And if you still want to walk away after the fact, then walk away. But at least you'll be able to walk away healthier instead of with a lingering injury that you just don't want to prepare for. So, but when you sign on the dotted line, you got to get back on that field after they do the rehab. But it's just for the year because you got to remember $30 million is a solid 1 year quarterback contract now. So, that's what I'm saying. For one more year, he's going to get all the top tier doctors. Why not? But mentally, he's just probably not there. So, shout out to Matt. Appreciate you tapping in the building, man. Appreciate you tapping in the building, man. Appreciate you. Shout out to Morally in the building. Appreciate you tapping in, tapping in. We just restarted our chat, had technical difficulties. So again, our apologies. But thank y'all for tapping in. Hit them likes, hit them likes, hit them 100s, hit them 100s. Yeah, so like I said, man, it's one of those things as an athlete, mental is always over physical. If mentally you say you could do something, you're gonna do it. And it's for the opposite as well. If you checked out, if you become completely civilized, you don't really want to run, you don't really want to do all that extra shit, it's over. You don't want to get hit. You know what I'm saying? You want to look good, pause with your suits and not have to worry about all that football stuff no more. Then it's over. So, but it also makes me wonder. I already know the Saints already knew this. They just made this decision to say it today. Do you feel like let's say hypothetically that they didn't know this before now? Do you think they make a different decision at draft time as far as selecting a quarterback?
because the higher ups is gonna tell them what to do anyway. So either or, it doesn't matter. Because if it's all about winning, you always gonna put your organization in the best possible chance to win every season. Sometimes it ain't about winning. Sometimes it's about something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Shout out to Oscar in the building. Appreciate you tapping and hit them likes, hit them 100s in the chats, man. We appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all, even if it's y'all first time, man. But yeah, man. So I definitely agree with that, bro. And God bless them. Uh, I personally think that again, the fact that Shador continued to fell in the draft was just odd, and I don't think the kid Tyler Shook is going to be the answer in New Orleans. But that's what the NFL is made for. They're going to have practices. They're going to get a chance to show their grit. But, numbers show like he hasn't never finished the season. He's always finished injured and he's an older man. Tyler Shook is not 21, 22. He's 25, 26. So that's going to be something to look forward to moving forward as well. Shout out to Malu in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Shout out to X in the building. Appreciate you tapping in. Happy birthday to you, X. Happy birthday to you. Appreciate you from Can the Brothers Get a Rap podcast. Thank you for tapping in. And even though we don't celebrate holidays, neither me or my bro, we don't celebrate holidays. But shout out to, I know people in the chat that do celebrate Mother's Day. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. All due respect to y'all. But me and my bro, we don't celebrate holidays, but we have people in our chat that do. So shout out to y'all. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Singer, legendary singer Melly Jackson. Her old performances has resurfaced. In her performances, while performing, she does a part within her performance that she goes into the crowd and feel on men's junk. Y'all heard me correctly, y'all. So while she's performing one of her songs, she will go into the crowd and do a nut check pause where she's grabbing men's, you know what I'm saying? Their stuff, their package pause, and she's doing a package check pause again. So she's doing several. She's not doing one. She's not doing two. She's going down the line, checking who has a nice one. So it has resurfaced. What do you think about that, bro? Millie Jackson doing this.
It's just weird and it's just uncalled for. But that's kind of stuff's been done before. You know what I'm saying? Many artists and on their concert have people come on stage and what I'm saying, do all types of wild stuff. So it's not unheard of, it's not uncommon. It's just I'm saying her stuff just resurfaces. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about them 80s singers. Like they was really in it to win it. You know, they was on a whole nother level. I don't know if this right here, this obviously did not age well because this looked very cringy. This looked crazy. For man though, I'm not gonna lie. If I'm at a show and Janet Jackson, Beyonce, Sierra, Anne Marie, Ashanti. I know these women got situations, but I'm saying at their time in their prime, if they was you went to this show and they're performing and they got off stage and was doing, I'm not gonna lie, if I'm sitting front row, I'm not gonna be running to the back be like, yo, nah, chill. I'm like, yo, check that, Joe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Holla. You know what I mean? So me personally, I would enjoy that as a man being at their shows. I don't know if that sounds creepy, but I'm just a young man enjoying a young woman's performance. Because again, I would, we talking about in their prime or whatever, and I'm talking about when I was in. I'm just saying I would enjoy that. I'm just saying the, nice, you know what I'm saying, rub tug would be nice by an artist that I listen to. You know what I'm saying? That's a story I always can tell. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine telling your grandkids, like, yo, one time she came off stage and grabbed my junk. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of nice too. So, I don't know. Like, yeah, I know y'all probably judging me, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? I can handle it. I'm a big boy. Pause. Pause. Whoa, pause. So from that aspect of it, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of crazy. But from a viewership aspect of it, it is kind of cringy because again, it's just wild to see that, and coming from a woman, that just looks crazy. So, 80 singles on a whole different level with that. Anything else you want to add?
All the error, you know what I'm saying?
Even Usher is having a thing. I don't like it. Oh, with the cherry, the cherry's a little different than, like, it would be different if Usher is walking up to the women grabbing breasts, like, yo, I'm doing a breast check, or grabbing their genitals. That sounds crazy, but grabbing their, the love box. That sounds a little bit better. The love box during his show. That's gonna be real cringy. You know what I'm saying? But feeding them cherries, not too bad. You know what I'm saying? Now it would have been a whole different thing if Millie Jackson going into the crowd with a jar of pickles and be like, yo, come get your egg pickles on, and doing that to all the men, like, nah, I'm cool off the egg pickle, ma. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool. Like, I'm straight. I came to hear the vocals. I didn't come to eat egg pickle, you know what I'm saying, from you. You know what I'm saying? Well, nah. You know what I'm saying? I can't get down. That's not my get down. So it's just that's to be extra crazy. But the cherry, it's Usher esque anyway. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's okay, Ash. I know, John. But it's personal opinion. That's funny. Shout out, shout out. That's funny. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Should there be, and this is my question. This is my question, y'all. Should there be should there be an experience or an age component to buying fast cars? The question comes due from Miami University star linebacker Adarius Hayes has been involved in a crash, in a car crash in the Tampa area where it left two children dead and him critical condition. What do you think about that? Should there be a driving experience or an age component to buying fast cars?
A combination of both, because driving experience and then the age component is also going to be a driving case of how much driving experience you have. You know what I'm saying? So I think they can create somewhere a combination of both aspects. Then yeah, it can't be either or. I feel both need to be administered in the final say so.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of younger people, college, high school kids that has fast cars. Thank God we didn't report on Gilbert Arenas' son. His recovery is going great. Thank God, because he was on a machine that would have, with the machine was breathing for him at one point. So thank God he was able to come from that and be just fine. And the first thing Gilbert Arenas said, he was cracking jokes immediately since he came under. And I know that made the family felt so much better seeing their son like that, in the sense where it's like, yo, there's hope. And now you've seen him back on his feet and, getting his bearings under him. Now you hear this young kid, Miami University linebacker. I don't have the car. I meant to write the car that he had, but it was one of those fast cars that was that preceded this type of accident. So I agree with you. There should be some sort of component whether it's age, whether it's experience, whether it's extended driving safety measures, that is the final say so on buying extremely fast cars. I just don't think a kid I would say 21 and younger should own very fast vehicles. I know kids alter vehicles to make them faster. I'd rather have that crisis than a natural fast car that they physically don't have the muscle memory to finesse and maneuver vehicles at that time. I know some kids will say, "Well, I've been driving since I was 15. I'm 22, so I have the muscle memory to do that." Yes and no, because there's this certain thing when you're getting older. It's just a different type of alert that you just have as you get older. That when you have a faster car now, that you'll be able to use and do. So I think that's also a component that's necessary. And I do think an added safety measure of precaution of training that anybody that is qualified to get a fast vehicle, they must go through, so that way we'll have less of this. Um, to that you say is what? Yeah, it's because it's unfortunate because as long as you have the money, you could get any car you want in this country. And if the kids are the ones driving these very fast cars, not only they're putting themselves at jeopardy, but they putting anybody else on the road with them. Unfortunately, this kid is in critical condition, and he also, I don't want to say he also, killed other two, but two more people was killed during this crash, unfortunately. So we have to do something based on that uh, portion. If they was able to take drunk drivers, we got less drunk drivers on the road. We still gonna have them, but if we have less drunk drivers on the road based on their checkpoints of what they do to find drunk drivers and this, that, and the third, and give them harsh penalties, then they should be able to do something regarding this. Because I don't mind, if I had a young son and he's driving, I wouldn't mind him driving, what they call the plan A to the plan B car. No, the plan to get to plan A. You get what I'm saying? To get the point A, point B type of whip. You know what I mean? Not the super new charge speed whip. You know what I mean? Like my boys used to bust moves in the Camry. I forget the particular Camry, but it was the smallest Camry that you could have, and going fast in that car was like 65. And you felt like if you put the windows down, I'm telling you, it felt like 100. You know what I'm saying? Because the wind blowing and everything like that, that was a good time. So, but these kids got super duper fast cars, and it's like look what's going on. So this is not a one or two types of occurrence. This has been an ongoing occurrence. So I would like to see some sort of added component that would help make a better judgment for these type of vehicles. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next topic, Malu. But it makes sense that it would tempt the young men to get a fast car. Not necessarily. The reason why I say not necessarily because the the whole purpose of all of this is safety, right? So if they create a component where they have to get extra safety, then and they still want that fast car, then but they have to be over a certain age. So that's like that's just me personally how I would do it. I would make a kid be a certain age. I don't care how long he's been driving. I don't care if he's been driving from 15 to 22. Yo, you're not 25 yet. When you hit 25, then you could get this car and enjoy this car at the maximum ability, but you also going to get added, testing and extensive safety precaution. So that way when you finally get this car, you not only appreciate the speed, but you appreciate the power that it has. So that's what I would do to add to that. So, all right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. Um, NBA playoffs. NBA playoffs is ringing out, y'all. So tonight we got OKC. They beat the Nuggets. They tied the series 2-2. They beat them 92-87. What do you think about the Nuggets and OKC game?
Series is gonna keep going back and forth, so it's gonna be a fire series to watch.
Yeah, yeah. man, all this game, this series in particular, has been going down to the wire. And it doesn't even matter where guys are in the rhythm, or like one of those games where you're expecting this person to score, this person to get the rebound, this person to get the assist. In this particular series, nobody cares. Yo, we need this stop and we need this bucket. Who could get us this bucket and who could get us this stop? Because the whole point is to win. So the series is up 2-2, and that's a dogfight right now. So we got the Cavs versus the Pacers. The Pacers beat the Cavs, I believe, 129, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 129 to 109, and they're up 3-1 in the series. What do you think about that? I The Pacers is showing out, man. The only thing I really like, it's so weird. This is the best NBA playoffs we've seen in a while. But this season has been supreme asshat. So I don't like the fact that we get to the playoffs for the guys to turn it on, and in the season we get supreme trash as a product. Why can't we get this all year long? They have the ability, right? There's more talent in the league, right? So we should get these type of games all year long with this type of desperation, because you're playing not only for the trophy, but you're playing for pride. So it's like what happened to this. So I would like to see that all season long. But the Pacers are showing up, showing out. I didn't expect the series to go like this. I did expect the Pacers to win, but not be up 3-1 at this point in time, which is crazy. So shout out to the Pacers. They got one more game. They win. They off to the Eastern Conference Finals. All right, y'all. On to our next hot topic. Rod, I've been trying to stay away from this next topic because I have law enforcement in my family. I know a lot of law enforcement. I do business with a lot of law enforcement, but I've spoken to my family. I've spoken to some of these officers, and everybody has a different point of view about this. Obviously, the point of view that is righteous, that some of them spoke on, their voice is going to be overshadowed by the narrative. So Rodney Hinton denied bail in the killing of Sheriff Deputy Larry Henderson. He's on trial for aggravated murder, hit and kill. For those who don't know, Rodney Hinton, uh, did hit and kill this man out of retaliation of a police officer murdering his son. Um, the only Honestly, most people that have issue with this have issue with the fact that he picked a random officer and not the officer that actually did the shooting on his son. What do you think of the whole situation as far as him getting denied for bail, and the narrative that's being thrown out there on both sides?
The scenario, if it was an actual person who did it, it doesn't matter. But again, there's no tit for tat in law neither. So it's going to be an uphill battle. It's just going to be going to see how the his lawyer can play this one and get a better verdict for him.
make a statement saying that they're showing solidarity to their fallen officer, right? And I get that component. But what happens to the human component of a father losing his son in the manner that he lost his son? So people are giving the officer leeway because of how the situation actually happened. You know, he was being chased. The kid pulled the gun out on the officer. He shot at the officer. The officer shot at him, and that's what they said would actually happen. Um, so there's a human element to the fact that a father lost his son. Is there an element that there's culpability on the son? You would have to say so because he does have a gun and he's doing a shootout with the police. What happened before that, we don't know for sure. But my thought process, I'm not necessarily picking sides. I'm trying to get people to understand something. If somebody's not afraid to shoot at a police officer, what do you think he's going to do to the average Joe that didn't do anything? Right? So I don't want to put a narrative out there like I'm for the officer, you know. But I look at that man as a father first because he's a father first, and all he know at this moment is that his son is dead, and they're saying that this is what happened. We don't know for sure. We don't know for sure unless there's video evidence showing the son getting out the car and busting shots at the police. You have to give it cause to pause if he feel like his son is not that type of person. If the community feel like he's not that type of person. So there will be cause to pause if there's not video evidence. So at the end of the day, all I honestly see is a father. I see a community that's hurting. You have a police officer that died and his family is hurting. And you have this man who killed this police officer and his family is hurting because of the loss of his son and possibly their father or a father figure going to jail. So there is no right or wrong in this situation. There's just a whole lot of hurt, and we don't know the history in that town, that particular town, because I have a history of all types of stuff. So we don't know enough to call it yet. So that's how I see it as of right now. It's unfortunate. Um, the community has been standing with the brother. As far as the culture, they've been standing with him. Obviously, the police culture has been standing with the police family, and they're trying to make it into a black and white thing. So we're gonna see how this plays out. Him being denied bond, I'm not surprised that he was denied bond. He killed a police officer, so I'm not surprised. Yeah, man. Google, we do. Oh, Google, we do. So there is video footage. I think it's okay for him to stay put in jail. Shut someone up. Who gives? Shout out to Google. Uh, oh, Oh, Google. Oh, in response to Google, we do. Yeah, shout out to Google. You're kind of weird, but I feel like you're trolling a little bit. Our show's not built off of trolling. We're not here for that. So if you're here to show love, you help us build with the show. Cool. But if you're not here for that, I'm gonna hook you up with some tickets, dog. Yeah. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next hot topic. NFL NFL mini rookie camp has started, and and all the teams is been started their off season training for the rookie camp. Travis Hunter, they seen Travis Hunter, they seen Shiloh Sanders, they seen Cam Ward, Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter looks crazy with 51 though. He needs to change his number immediately. Well, Abdul Carter, if you don't know, bro, he asked to get Lawrence Taylor number from Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor told him no, go make your own number. Then he asked Phil Simms for the number 11. Phil Simms told him no. So now he chose 51. And to me, it looks crazy on him, but I think he should get a better number from that. What do you think of the mini camps started so far?
They're playing like they're supposed to play, like professional.
Look good. Shout out to Andrew in the building. What team is Will Campbell on? He's on the Patriots. Yeah, he's their new anchor. He's the New England. He's a good kid, man. He got that heavy Louisiana accent too. Boxing man. Yeah, he got that heavy Louisianan accent. He's a good player. But the rookie camps has been good. The quarterback competition is on the way in Cleveland between Dylan Gabriel and Shador Sanders. Both quarterbacks have looked good, but Shador has looked a bit better. He looks bigger, stronger, more accurate. He threw they he threw a duck in practice, but it was one ball. Like if you watch any NFL practice, top level quarterbacks, you're gonna see them throw bad balls. So people was going in like, oh, you see that he got the wildly ball. Trust me, if you go tap into a lot of top tier quarterbacks, who y'all consider top tier quarterbacks, their practice clippings is not clean, but he still looked amazing. He's been showing up, showing out, and people already talking about possibly releasing one of the pre-existing quarterbacks, whether it's Joe Flacco or whether it's the kid from Pittsburgh and Philly. I can't think of Kenny Pickett. What do you think of the possibility of that for them to release one of those guys?
Time will tell. This is all talk now, but you know what I'm saying, they could change their mind later on and stuff. So it's just waiting on more training and more observation on actually what they're gonna really do come the season.
Fact. That's a fact. I see it both ways though. I see them. I can see why that would be the smartest thing to drop a guy like Kenny Pickett because right now Joe Flacco is a Super Bowl quarterback, but he's 40 years old. But he's a bridge quarterback. You don't expect him to be the franchise quarterback moving forward. So if he starts the first game for first game to maybe like sixth or the seventh game, I would not be surprised to see Dylan Gabriel or Shador. More likely would be Shador by the middle of the season because the more you get them out there to play, the better that they're going to be prepared. If Joe Flacco go crazy this year, how do that set up the future? So, in my estimation, I think that would be smart because they're not going to carry four quarterbacks. Somebody's going to get released. Right now, they have five, but Deshaun Watson is never going to play in a Cleveland Browns uniform again. He's hurt, and he won't be available physically until next year. So that is a wrap in itself. Joe Flacco is a 40-year-old Super Bowl quarterback, but I think he bridges, from first game to the eighth game, and we'll see what if Shador continued to do what he's doing, he'd probably more likely be the starter. So but it's been dope, man. I love to see the mini camps. The running backs look great. All the running backs I've seen, Ashton Genty, Quinshawn Junkins. I mean, they looked really good out there. Pause as far as running the ball and doing their thing. Cam Scatterbull, I seen Cam Scatterbull on the Giants. They showed his clips. Like I can't wait till the season start already. I can't wait. NFL is popping. NFL is popping, man. Shot, hey, Rowan Jack, just give to some people in the chat, man. Rowan Jack, man, appreciate you. As always, send that man some thank yous. He's always supporting the show, and he supported a lot of people in the chat, man. So make sure y'all send him some thank yous for real. We appreciate you, Rowan Jack. He just gifted about 5 people. So again, thank you for the gift there, Rowan Jack, one of our day ones, man. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Our next segment is brought to you by Bravo Section. Make sure you go to bigbravosection.com. Again, bigbravosection.com. If you're in the Miami area, you can book a session with one of the best photographers in the world. If you're not, you can still book that session. They'll come out, take care of session. Again, it starts at bigbravosection.com. You got a petty thought for us, petty law, Black's Law Dictionary?
From the Black Law Dictionary, as always, words that we use every day, but need to know the legal definitions of. First word on the list is legal entity. So a legal existence, an entity other than a natural person who has sufficient existence in a legal contemplation that can be a function that can have a function as legally, but used or can be sued and make decisions through agents, as in the case of corporations. All right, next one on the list is sunshine law. Laws which are required that meetings of governmental agencies and departments be open to the public with reasonable access to its records and such proceedings, also known as Freedom of Information Act. Next word on the list is lack of jurisdiction. So the phrase may mean lack of power of a court to on act in a certain particular manner or to give certain kinds of relief. It may consist in courts' total want of power to act at all or lack of power to act in a particular case because conditions essential to exercise of jurisdiction have not been composed with or may consist of lack of jurisdiction, subject matter, or over a person. All right, last word on the list is military government, such as exercised by a military commander under direction of the president in time of foreign war without boundaries of the United States, or in time of rebellion and civil war within states or districts occupied by rebels, such supersedes local law. All right, so words this week were legal entity, sunshine law, lack of jurisdiction, and military government.
Fire again, y'all. Send my bros some words to look up, but you have to be serious. All right, you look up these words because words have power. They always have, and we use these words every day and don't realize the underlining real message and meaning behind these words. So, dope words of choice, bro, and make sure y'all tap in, man. All right, y'all. Moving on to our next segment. Keep the lie alive segment.
Lie.
Keep the lie alive. So my keep the lie alive for this episode is perception versus reality. Again, I've been seeing on social media and I hear in social gatherings that this particular subject that I'm about to broach is a point of contention. And we have to debunk this because in our world, we have to go with facts and not things that we feel. So this is why it's perception versus reality. So it's been an ongoing thing where on the internet that athletes and men of means marry outside of, you know, outside of brothers and sisters. And y'all know what I mean by brothers and sisters, right? As far as the culture. So you've seen all these podcasts and all these people saying, you know, what? How come the men from the culture they marry outside of the races? You know, it's like, do they not like their self and like what's going on? No, we gotta stop this. We have to go with facts. They may not be choosing you, or you may not be in the areas these men are in, but they may not be choosing you because again, my whole thing when I talk about subjects like this is about bringing us together. So that's why the like we have to debunk these ideologies and what people feel. The saying is that men from our culture marry outside of the race, which is fact that you by US censory, 85% of the brothers in this country marry sisters. Again, let me say this again. 85% of the brothers marry sisters. But I don't know if your math is mathing like my math is mathing, but that's not 50%. That's 85. That's basically saying out of every 10 men, 8 men decides to marry within the culture. So when you say, how come men of means, right, who are cultured, marry outside of the race? This is 85%. Those men that are in the sports or the or entertainment, that is entertainment or whatever the case may be, a hedge funds manager, whatever the case may be, however he makes his money, he makes a lot of money. He's choosing sisters 85% of the time. So there's no way that we continue with this notion that, oh, I'm not being chose because the women that they're choosing us outside of the culture and they're softer, they're weaker, which is that I, women of our culture has to stop believing that they're the strongest and they're the most roughest and the toughest, because y'all not. The reason why I can say that because I've dated women in our culture all my life. I come from a woman of our culture. My grandma, my mother, my aunties, and so on and so forth. Y'all not the toughest to deal with. But again, nobody should have to be able to handle you. It's just a mind thing. You're just not being chosen based on your individual personality or what you got going on or based on what you value. And a lot of women before you gave you different things to value that's not men value. What I mean by that is this. Most women in the older culture gave y'all things like, yeah, you're educated, you're fun, you have your own. That's great for you. Kudos. But when men have means, that's not the bottom line of our choice. We're not going to look at you and be like, oh, yeah, she got her education. What a catch. Yeah, she got her own. Yeah, what a catch. That's the added bonus for you. Wonderful. But the things that men value is all individual based. But one thing that's for all men is respect. So whatever that man needs you to be in service to, that's what you need to value if your goal is to get a man. If your goal is not to get a dude or to have a man in your life, then do what you do. Who cares, right? But if your goal is to have a man, so my thing is you can't complain about not having a man if you don't want to have a man. If you're not doing the things to have a man, you can't complain about, oh, I'm not being chose. Why would you be chose if you're not ready? We talk about the NFL draft, right? In the NFL draft, you got all these hundreds of kids that be scrutinized based off their speed, strength, and their mental acumen on how to pick up the offense and pick up the defense. That's the same thing like dating. Your offensive defense is the man that you're dealing with. You have to learn his playbook. Your 4-4, your 4-2, your 4 speed comes in peace. Instead of you running the fastest, learn how to be peaceful. Your 225 and benching, that's your agreeability. If your goal is to get a man, that's why these players do it to get into the league. We see it in both football and basketball. The WNBA, they have their things of what you have to do to get into the league. You have to be this height. You have to have a handle. You have to be able to shoot the ball. In football, you have to be able to do what's needed at those positions. So if you want a position, then you have to learn the role of that position, ladies. And again, my goal is to bring us together because I'm tired of this internet stuff where these things that we let live in the internet, we let it live in our real lives, and it's not accurate. So this statement right here is not accurate. Where on the internet, why is the brothers are not marrying the sisters? They choosing the other women because they're weaker. No, it's because of the value. And some guys remember what some guys, most guys go where they're celebrated and not tolerated. Majority of men with means focus on the means early. So now that they have the means and now they out and popping, now they're going to choose who's on their program. But when they was on the come up, they remember the women who mess with them or not. And sometimes some of those women are not from the culture. Sometimes some of those women is from outside of the culture, and they like, yeah, I remember this particular experience. I like this. She was messing with me when I wasn't even popping yet. So if I wasn't popping back then and I'm popping now, I know she gonna really be on me now. Men go where they're celebrated and not tolerated. So that's something in our culture that we really need to focus on if your goal is to have someone. You can't get the job and play the role that you want to play based on your rules and your regulations. It don't work that way. You can't show up to any job and you go for the job and you like, yeah, so they like, yeah, so let me see your resume. And be like, see that I graduated 4 years of college. I got 4 years of college and I got my master's degree. Oh, but it says philosophy here. Oh, we build trucks here. What the philosophy degree says about us building these trucks. But I got the master's degree though. But that's not a part of the qualifications. Same thing in dating, ladies. So I really want y'all to understand that and debunk this internet stuff where the brothers are not marrying women of our culture when the US Census has it right here. 85% of the cultured men marry cultured women. What do you think about that, bro?
You said it all. Everything you needed to say. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing else to really add to that.
We have to debunk this whole conversation and this whole notion because again, we have to get this together because we need each other. I've said this prior to we need each other, and we can't let this internet BS and things take wings and indoctrinate itself in real life because it's not real. Like the whole thing we talked about prior to about taking a lady out on a date. If that lady like you enough, she don't care where you take her. She just wants you to spend time with her. I never had an issue where I took a woman out and she had a problem where I took her. Never, ever since high school. So this notion that this is not good enough or that is not good enough or men is not marrying these particular women is BS. So we got to debunk this stuff because there's more room for us to grow together than continuously be apart. Yo, shout out to the chat, man. They going in, man. Shout out to Malu in the building. Shout out to Samantha. Love is love. That's a fact. Let me tell you, it's ridiculous to go through it. Exactly, Samantha. People should just support instead of spreading hate on love. I think a lot of the times it's just about jealousy. A lot of women keep other women single, ladies. Let me sit with that. Sit with that. A lot of women keep other women single. It is what it is. I'm giving y'all the cheat code. Giving y'all the cheat code. So, but that's if your goal is to have someone. If your goal is to have a dude. And I think plenty of guys have said it enough where you can't escape it no more. You heard it to the left, you heard it to the right, south and north. Can't escape it no more. It is what it is. Y'all been amazing. Y'all been amazing. We want to thank y'all for tapping in each and every Sunday and every Thursday at 10:30. Again, we apologize for the difficult technicalities. YouTube has just been giving us a tough time. With some of the stuff with the freezing. We again, our show don't have them type of issues at all. But we're gonna continuously to work on clearing it up. We're gonna have this cleared by next episode, man. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all, man, for real. We thank y'all for continuously to tap back into the different links that we had to get back up, man. So we appreciate y'all. Again, continue to hit them likes, hit the 100s, hit them likes, hit the 100s. Um, man, y'all been amazing. We're on every Thursday and Sunday at 10:30 p.m. Make sure I'm sorry. Shout out to some of the sponsors of the show: Bravo Section, Button Snaps, OUV Records. If you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, hit us up on Instagram. You can hit me at Ashley Lovechild, or you can hit my bro on his Instagram at. So if you're interested in becoming one of the sponsors of the show, hit us up on Instagram. Also, we're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're a little over 11. So continue to like, subscribe, share. Continue to watch the rewatches of this video. We got over 400 rewatchable videos of this podcast on this channel, and we're proud of them. So please tap into them. Again, like, subscribe, share, tap into them shorts as well. Uh, Got a new EP on the way coming out May 26th. Again, the new EP coming May 26th called Winners Loyalty. So make sure y'all tap into Winners Loyalty EP May 26th. In the mean between time, just type in Ashley Lovechild on your favorite music platform. I got fire music. I got fire albums. So make sure y'all tap into. I know my bro got his website.
BravoSection.com.
Make sure y'all tap in. Again, we love y'all. Also tap into the membership portion of the page. Different memberships, different access. We have merch. Go get your merch. Tap into the merch within the page as well. And it's links in the bio as well. Again, we love y'all. We're gonna see y'all this Thursday, and we might tap up in between the week. So because we got it, we're going to clear up this issue, this technical difficulties with YouTube. So y'all already know, man. It's love. And we see y'all this Thursday at 10:30. We out.